Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow. We'll take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination fly. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, the ultimate pop culture lair.
Now I've heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do you? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah. 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 I did my best. It wasn't much. I couldn't feel, so I tried to touch. I've told the truth. I didn't come to fool you. And even though it all went wrong, I'll stand before the Lord of Song with nothing on my tongue but hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
This guy's probably fought hundreds of thousands of other super beings on the other planets he's destroyed, right? And we have to assume he's won.
I don't care how many demons he's fought and how many hells. He's never fought us. Not us united. I don't know what the hell's going on with StreamYard, but hey, how's everybody doing? See, this is stupid. Never done this before. There's like 2 new buttons here now on StreamYard. If you look down at the below, that I have never, whatever. Hey, happy 5th anniversary. That's what we were all excited about 5 years ago. Actually, I was on the air last night. Well, when we came through, when we did the replacement. We were actually on the air at the time it would have premiered for us 5 years ago. But happy 5th anniversary to a movie that has pissed a lot of people off, but in my opinion, can do no wrong because it introduced us to people. Just think of how many people that some of us would never have met had it not been for all
To
this.
include the
I
two
would
guys
never
on
have met
screen,
the film
you know.
junkie, Chris Ron Swinton, this asshole to my right, Zack Snyder himself, Scott. I mean, all these people that are familiar to us now. In the only experience I've ever had like that, and I'm not going to compare this to the U.S. Army, but a common experience that brings people together that would have not normally encountered each other. I think that's been a good thing. And it has done what we're about to do tonight and raise money. We've raised damn near $20,000. We're not quite there yet. As a matter of fact, let me, I'm going to bring this up. Hey, sorry we were late. Hey, listen, the reason why this didn't happen a lot earlier.
William texted me earlier is that, and please fill me in on the, what was it you're seeing tonight?
Project Hail Mary.
Yeah, that's because you were seeing early showing of that night. The movie is longer, I guess, than
2 hours and 37 minutes.
Yeah, but apparently, according to your reaction, it's worth that runtime.
I don't really over exaggerate when it comes to saying how good movies are because I feel that sometimes they may replace other movies that I've given that mantle to. Nothing's going to touch 2049 for me as far as Blade Runner goes. That has more to do with my obsession with that movie than anything else. Who knows if it's the greatest science fiction achievement of all time? I put it there. Project Hail Mary. And I've had about an hour or so to think about this, is one of the best movies I've seen, period. Not this year. Not the last decade or two, period. It does everything right that a lot of epic science fiction movies don't do. I thought of a lot of movies that, while I was watching this movie, that tried to do what Project Hail Mary did and failed. 2001 rang through my brain loudly. There is nothing that this movie, in my opinion, everybody's going to be different. I understand that. There's nothing that it does that's not top notch. Even the score. The score kind of goes unnoticed because it is in lockstep with whatever's going on. And there's some really intense shit that goes on in this movie. And Rocky, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but obviously if you've seen the previews, you've seen he has a counterpart in there. His alien counterpart is as much a part of the movie as Ryan Gosling. The movie doesn't happen without him. It's not like when you see some of these movies and you have like a little sidekick fluffy character and he's cute and like Crypto or something like that, right? No, Rocky is the movie doesn't go without that character. And it's Lord Miller, which I shouldn't surprise me. This shouldn't surprise me because one of the few times I felt when I left the movie theater is the movies that they've done with Spider-Man. But I'm going to take a couple of days to put it somewhere wherever I'm going to slot it, if I even need to do it. But it invoked a lot of epic science fiction. If you're into epic science fiction movies, if you liked Gravity, which is one of my favorite movies, and if you like The Martian, it's better than both of those combined. And one of those is a Ridley Scott movie. And you know what I think about him and where I hold him at as far as the pantheon of directors. This is better than both of those movies combined. And I loved Gravity. I thought Gravity got robbed for a couple of awards. Goes without saying, Ridley Scott got fucked out of many awards. But I can't, I don't know. I don't know what the future is going to hold, just like with Sinners. But I knew last year when I saw Sinners, I knew that I had most likely seen the best movie I was going to see of 2025. And it turned out that, that I wasn't alone. Dune looms largely. Dune Part 3 looms large. I mean, because of where that is. But until I lay eyes on that, this to me would be, and I hope it makes a lot of money. I don't know if it's going to, I don't know if they advertised it as well as they really could have, but it's one of the best movies I've ever seen. And it's 2 hours and 37 minutes long. And I saw that time, I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom a couple times. I mean, it was just like, because I've been drinking all day, water because I've been moving. I'm like, am I gonna be able to sit there? Are there gonna be dead spots in this movie? Because when you see 2 hours and 37 minutes, there's gotta be dead spots, right? There are no dead spots. And by the way, without spoiling for you, there are out of sequence. One of the things that just grates my fucking nerves when it comes to Christopher Nolan, and why I'm not as big a fan as a lot of people are, is the way he does sequencing in his stories. It just hurts my brain. They do that here, but I think they do it better than I've ever seen. They do it and they input things where they need to be. And it ain't confusing. It's none of that. So I think if you were a science fiction fan, you were to keep your sci-fi geek badge, you got to go see Project Hail Mary. And I don't do multiple runs at movies. I don't have the time. This might be the one movie that I go back to this. Even Sinners. I saw Sinners once in the theaters, waited till it came on streaming till I saw it again. I might go see this again. I'm cheap and I don't have a lot of time, so that's saying a lot. But topic of the night is Zack Snyder says, let me, Brad, blow some hot air, some steam, do your thing while I bring up the charity stream.
Well, like Aaron said, when met all you guys, I wouldn't have met my sis.
What? You know what? I could have bet $1,000. I should have did him a parlay that. Who was the first person? No offense to you, Aaron. Who's the first person you're going to bring up in the chat?
Yeah. Oh, and as we can all no doubt agree,
not related to you, by the way.
Of course, we all agree with this.
Yes, Brad.
Oh, by the way, Aaron.
Do you want to just bring her on? You want to send her a link?
I'm down if you want to. Aaron. Based on some stuff I've seen floating around discussed today,
hey, we got $10. Did somebody tip us? $2.
Aaron, let's just say I think we're probably gonna see the trailer for the Furious pretty soon.
Okay, who in the ever
you
cares about any of that?
You people who love action movies, which is a lot of people.
Okay, and are they tuning into this geek aside show for that?
Definitely.
No.
Yes, they are, because there's lots of action in Zack Snyder Justice.
Right now, we are at $2,051. Somebody tipped us $3. Hey,
now let me guess. This person, like their name is something to the effect that Brad's the world's biggest scary movie fan.
I have to look it up because I'm not in that. I'm not in the. I'm just. I can't bring up the screen. What the StreamYard? And you always do this when you took the money out of my account.
Donda asks, Project Hail Mary basically Castaway in space. I heard their description.
No, and it's funny. It's funny. It's if Castaway in space had another. If Wilson could be a major character. The thing about Castaway, and there was a lot of comparisons to when we were talking with people after the movie. Yeah, it is like that, but it's unlike that, and that's where it ends. It ends in a joke like that.
This is
the ball is. Yeah, go ahead.
This is Castaway if he did have a match.
Yeah, if there were two Tom Hanks, because Rocky is the equal to Dr. Grace, who, by the way, listen, I was never prior to 2049. You couldn't pay me to see a Ryan Gosling movie because he was usually in chick flicks or movies or soft action movies I didn't give a fuck about. This is two movies now.
Yeah, I got no beef with him, but he's not.
Yeah, he's just not in the shit that I'm in.
Not in a lot of stuff that I gravitate towards. Yeah.
Other
than Blade Runner, yeah, for
William. I know it's early. We just got through the whole slog that was the Oscars. There's no way he doesn't get nominated for this. There's no way. If he's not nominated for this, stop with the award.
Okay, I guess I got to go see this because this wasn't like terribly on my radar. So I was kind of like casually thinking, okay, I'll probably be able to go give it a look this weekend. But you're selling the hell out of this, so I guess I got to see this.
It's like it looked at all the big ones, even the ones that were super successful, that just they left something on the table. They just didn't. They missed something. And there was, you know what? This could have been a lot better, but it wasn't. But
out? Wait. So it's out? No,
I got it. No, it's out Friday or Thursday.
Okay. Okay, yeah, because I was looking at the Fandango show times, and it's out tomorrow. Yeah, I'm still not gonna be able to see it tomorrow because God, post COVID, my theater just doesn't do anything past 9, and even then, the latest show tomorrow's at 8. So
yeah, it's I think it's a great movie. Hold on, let me get that. So right now, $17,551. I will do the math here in a second to where that brings us as far as our grand total. We're not reaching it tonight. Some bigwig comes up and
well,
do
it's
it.
like I think obviously like we we made sure by like May 20th, which of course that's another big very important day in the fandom and related to this movie. That certainly be like a great
that would be a good way to do it. That's still one of my favorite times.
Oh yeah, definitely. Clint, just because I have a irritate, that doesn't mean I like everything that's released. I mean, it's like I have to see every single or want to. In fact, I can't think of anybody in entertainment journalism or blogging or whatever term you want to describe. I can't think of anybody who does. Like, there are things people sit out. It's like, I mean, press screenings or screeners. I mean, it's not like they're mandatory once you're writing for an outlet.
Well, it's like me. I'm a science fiction fan. Some science fiction movies are I'm not going to go see. But this one is I said and what it does is it's not. I haven't read the book, so I'm in a different category, and I'm not going to go read the book.
I was going to ask, is it based on a book or a video game?
It's based on a book that I will never read. I don't believe that there's anything that book could do for me, but this movie did not do for me. This is probably one of the best characters he's played. It's a very flawed character, and the way he gets into this situation is kind of fucked up, but it's the right thing that happens. There are just imagine if you're watching Castaway, and as lonely as Tom Hanks' character was, if the ball could talk to him and if the ball could help him figure out how to get off the island. That's basically what this movie is, and the camaraderie that is built between him and Rocky, not just him and Rocky, but there are other people in this movie because it's shown out of sequence. And there's a certain scene in there, and it involves karaoke, and I'll just leave it at that I thought was really brilliant. That I thought was really, really, really brilliant as far as trying to tell you what's on the line here and why these people are willing to do what they're about to do. And what they're about to do is awful. This movie has every opportunity to have a fucked up ending. I'm not going to tell you what the ending was. For those of you who if you read the book, don't spoil it for anybody in the game. I really want people to experience this movie. I really want to hear what people think about this movie. And it's not. I just like any movie. There's going to be movies. People are going to think, oh, I thought it was boring. I thought it was this. I'm just telling you how I felt as somebody who is continuously let down by science fiction epics. Even ones I like just have parts of them that dragged on too long, but this doesn't have that.
Pertinent to, of course, the movie that is celebrating its 5th birthday today. Because again, I was Project Hail Mary. It was very much just kind of on my periphery. I didn't have like a whole lot of knowledge going to it. But the character of Rocky, one of apparently, so he's like an AI or an alien or
no, he's an. Hold on, I'll say that again. I'm sorry.
Well, he's the character has a number of different people voicing him. One of whom is Ray Porter.
Yeah, I think it was Ray Porter, wasn't it? Yeah. I saw that. I had no idea. And I love the communication. Listen, the part of the story is them learning to communicate with each other, and it's an evolving thing. It's an evolving thing throughout the movie. It's never perfected, but it is perfect at the same time. Let me get in. Let me pin the. So guys, if you can donate.
Darkseid himself is a voice actor in Project Hail Mary. I did not know that until literally 20 seconds ago.
So the link is in the chat. I'm about to pin it to the top of the chat. So if you're watching this, I know this isn't on an hour, but if most of the people who watch this show watch it later on in the day or in their own time zone on their own side of the country. Which is fine. That link works 24/7. The link works 24/7. It's not something that, I didn't catch it live I can't contribute. Nah, you can contribute 24/7. Hell, you could be watching this, as long as the campaign is on now, it's pinned to the top. As long as the campaign is on, you can
if we're not even,
Yeah.
but that's the day where we're not streaming, you can contribute.
Yeah, or even if it's not our campaign. I mean, I'd like it to be our campaign, but if you're doing it somewhere else, I mean, you're doing it. The money's going to the same place. It just has a different name on it. So right now we are at $17,551. So let me do some quick math here because I don't do fast math. That's fuck that.
So it's roughly 2,500 or wherever you want to
Yeah,
get it.
we're just under 2,500 because it wasn't much from the last time. So roughly 2,500 is what we're going for here. Anything you can do helps. Hell, somebody just did $2. $2. You guess what? We every dollar counts towards the 20. AFSP is going to do something with that $2 along with the other dollars that we send them. But the cause it's the same. I will always repeat this, that there is no such thing as in physical or mental illness or any ailment that has not been helped by research. And research costs money. Research has resources. There's time involved. Not only that, but even with every disease, whether it be ALS, cancer, AIDS, there's a support network that takes resources as well. The people who are left behind, the people who have to deal. Have you ever seen when you're watching TV, seen a commercial for St. Jude's? That's not just for the kid that's going through it. That's for the family that's going through it as well. And it's the same thing with this. So anything you contribute goes to that. We've had several experts on here from AFSP. Obviously, it's too late at night to really even attempt to get anybody, but we've had them on there and they've explained the details. But I don't know if it needs explaining. I think each and every, I know for a fact I have had someone in my circle or intermediate circles, doesn't matter, that has committed to act. And I know you have. I don't think there's anybody in this chat or that'll be watching this stream that has not been to some certain degree affected by it. And just imagine the resources that go into preventing that and the resources that go in if the unfortunate case happens that you do lose that person. They leave lots of people in their wake, and those people need counseling. A lot of times when something like this happens, it's a chain reaction, even if it's just one extra person. If somebody is tied to that person who takes their life, there's a good chance somebody close to them could do the same thing because they've lost that anchor. And the case in point would be with Chris Cornell and Chester Bennington, how close they were and how close they took their lives within each other. I think within 2 years.
It's also hard on marriages for parents with their child. And I mean, not to make this too terribly ominous or personal, about the relevant parties to this movie, but I mean, I think I've read that's if when a child takes their own life, the parents or the possibility of divorce after that goes up significantly. Yeah, because it's what's bonded them. To answer your question real quick, Omega Swiper, that is, if you look there are two campaigns, and look at the one we're on right now is campaign number 2. The original campaign we did was the one I sent the money to them already. Was for almost $16,000 or almost $16,000. So what you see in the upper left hand, the 17,551 is the totality that we have raised for the cause. And you see to the right of that is 2 campaigns, and then you see the right of that is the average for each campaign. So the 2,000 is in the live campaign, is the one that is active. So for those of you who needed to know that, and I'm sorry to hear this, Aaron. One of her godmothers that took her own life. I'm really sorry to hear that.
All right, we're going to start at the top with the chat. Obviously, this is the topic, but this is an open topic.
We got some trailers and stuff today too, which is I'm
already been demonetized.
Some of my work also got a pretty good amount of attention today, which I'm very happy with. But
who cares? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, okay, but let's go into that trailer. I mean, do you want to not play the Spider-Man trailer for the fear?
We can play it. We're gonna get knocked down for the Zack Snyder one. We always do, even though I fucking promoted that movie We help
Yeesh.
promote that movie, and I shouldn't, but the
that
algorithm
like,
does it.
posted today on Instagram too to commemorate the 5th anniversary. So what the hell?
I haven't seen. There's a lot of movies that are going to be, and then like I said, Dune looms large over everything. And I have not seen Dune Part 3, so I might see Dune Part 3, and it might blow my eyeballs out of my socket. But as I sit here now on 3/18/26, it's the best movie of the year. And granted, it's a young year, so that you know what you're seeing sometimes, in my opinion. You know, no matter what time of year you see a movie, you know what you're seeing. You know you're seeing something special.
Well,
I knew when I saw The Dark Knight and when I saw Heath Ledger on the screen, I knew I was looking at an Academy Award winning all-time performance. And I hadn't seen the rest of the movies that came out in 2008. So take that. What were you going to say?
Like Sinners. I mean, it's like it was, that was, we're about a month away from 1 year from Sinners, and that's of course like outside of the traditional like kind of like Oscar season, and then you add in like horror movies don't tend to get that much love from the Oscars, certainly not the best picture level. So
yeah, and this year the horror movies got a lot of gold. If you look at it, Aunt Gladys, it's only I got different. I love her performance, but where she means that movie kind of pissed me off. Aunt Gladys was in a horror movie. Sinners, Michael B. Jordan, that's a horror movie. If so I was happy. I thought one battle after another. I'm gonna say it now. It's one of the most overrated movies I've ever seen.
By the way, what did you think of the because this has certainly made the rounds of Michael B. Jordan, like after the Oscars, he went to the In-N-Out, and
I saw it. They showed it. I was watching it live.
Yeah, and
he's chilling. Listen, Michael B. Jordan.
He seems like a pretty fun guy to be around.
You couldn't find a fat burger?
That's a good point.
Rocky is a new clip. No. I'm gonna wait and go see the movie for us.
Yes. Let's go. Yeah, kind of give me the clip. So it's like this because people like it, The Martian. So it's like Ryan Gosling. He's like an astronaut who gets stranded on a
He's
planet.
not an astronaut.
Okay.
That's so. I'm gonna quote something from the movie. I'm not an astronaut. I put the not in astronaut.
Okay. Wow.
He's a school teacher.
Oh, so he gets beamed up in space somehow?
I can't tell you how this happens because it's really fucked up. What's happening is there's some organisms on the sun that are causing the sun to dim to the point where it could be catastrophic on Earth. And he's come up with theories and stuff, and they've read his theories and they come get him. Oh,
so he's abducted.
Not initial. No. And Rocky is his galaxy is experiencing the same phenomenon. So it's about them problem solving together and learning how to communicate and figure this out. And the Ryan Gosling's evolution from the beginning, the point where you first see, and like it's completely out of sequence, but not in a Nolan way to where I just couldn't watch it.
So it's not it's non-linear in the
It's linear from one point, and then there's overlays to answer. So every time they bring up a question of how did we get here, he goes to that.
Okay,
and it's filmed that way. Yeah.
Oh, there's a little bit of use of flashbacks and that kind of thing.
Well, yeah, it is, but usually in a way that I'm like, okay, here we fucking go again. But no, you need them. Not only do you need his flashback, you need them in the order that they give them to you. They give them to you in an order that makes the movie. So, I really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, again, like I said, this was for whatever reason, this was kind of more on the periphery for me. And like you said, it's part of it's like again, no beef with Ryan Gosling. He just it's just as like a matter of like I guess his personal his preferences for his professional life. He just seems to like kind of primarily
like La La Land. Yeah. I would rather eat the physical media of La La Land than ever watch that. You got some feedback coming up on your mic. Did you mess your setup again?
I did not mess anything.
Yeah, we got the old rhythmics with when it goes with your voice. You changed something up, didn't you? Yes, you did. I don't even
changed
need to ask you. I know
I
you
had the
did.
same setup as I've always had, but yeah. So he tends to, again, just pick. I mean, more power to him. You have a fruitful career that way. Just a lot of stuff he does.
Yeah, it just wasn't for me.
He was in
That's
Barbie.
all.
I only saw Barbie as part like the Barbenheimer phenomenon,
And I saw it in pieces.
I mean, the only thing I can think of recently that he's done that where I like looked at that and said like, oh yeah, I'm seeing that as soon as it comes out is and even now this maybe tells you like how much this wasn't one like the bigger ones for me, because the Fall Guy.
I skipped that.
Well, because it's like the reason that drew me into it is like it's David Leitch. It's like, okay, like this is like the 87 Lemma guys, is one of the John Wick directors. So this is yeah, I'm definitely for that. And I think that's actually one of the weaker ones from that group. I'm sad to say. So
And his range in this is whatever you think he's the best at. So say if you've seen all of his movies, I've seen a good number of them because he's been in certain things now that I've seen. Even though I'm not attracted to like Baby Driver thing, I've seen it, his range is everywhere in this movie. His range, not only do you see it because some of it is told in flashbacks, but you see it as the movie progresses from the point where you see him at the beginning of the movie, what he's willing to do, what he grows throughout this movie into something that he's not at the beginning of this movie. A lot of movies do that, but they don't do it well. It's just, we're running out of time. Let's evolve this character to this point so we can roll the credits. No. They spend a lot of time letting you know what Ryan Gosling's character is and is not. And then he transforms into what he needs to be in order to do what they need to do. And the same thing for Rocky. He's not just, like I said, he said crypto, and I know he hadn't seen the movie, but Rocky is not an accent piece. Rocky is not just there to sell toys. He's there to tell part of that story. And once he's introduced into the movie, he is part of. The movie doesn't go anywhere without him. He's a scientist just in the same manner as Ryan Gosling's character, Dr. Grace's character is. They are literally out there in space to achieve the same mission. And he does not achieve anything in this movie without Rocky, and vice versa. And there's some really tense moments in this movie. And like I said in my review, this movie takes you emotionally everywhere it needs to, and doesn't really overdo it at any particular. Some movies they just overdo it with the sap, the speeches, and all that stuff. No, everything that's said here is said as much as it needs to be said, and when it needs to be said. It's like they placed all their scenes and said, this is going to work here, and this is going to propel this into this, and this is going to make this matter. And we put it all together and made this movie, which is really hard to do when you look at the movies we see. There are some movies that, like, especially at 2 hours and 37 minutes, that have dead spots, that have, wow, I can actually get up and go check the score of the Laker game and go pee spots. This movie did not have those for me. This movie did not have those, and it doesn't feel like 2 hours and 37 minutes for me. I can feel, like I said, I can feel the long movie. My bladder can feel a long movie. This one, and you didn't know it was ending because you knew when the climax was coming, but that's when I had my cell phone on.
Sounds like some commonality then with it's the movie again, the birthday movie, because that's it's a 4-hour movie. Just I remember the first time I saw Snyder Cut, it's like it doesn't feel like flow wise, time wise, it doesn't feel any longer than BVS to me. I mean, it feels like this. It's 4 hours.
No, BVS to me.
Yeah, it's like that doesn't feel like a slog either. Yeah, that
both versions, and I'm one of the minority that didn't. I didn't need the ultimate cut to love BVS. Other people did. I did not.
Doesn't mean
I appreciate that it's out there.
Getting out there, yeah. And that's one thing I've talked about. A few other things I've written about the whole series is that because first time seeing Man of Steel, I remember walking out of the theater like having so many thoughts. I was at such a high from that. It was again, I described as a Superman movie I waited my whole life to see. And one of the things I remember thinking about is, a lot of the flack that Superman Returns caught was that it was too slow, didn't have enough action. Nobody made that complaint about Man of Steel. I can assure you that it's very, very fast paced. Hits the ground running. It's especially the last half is like it's just go. It's very fast paced. And then BVS, it's like it's it's longer by about half an hour. But it's
how much of that is the fact that we waited for it so long?
What do you mean?
How much of, I mean, the fact that it blows by, how much of it is the fact that we waited for so long? Yeah, and we willed this into existence.
Yeah,
that it could have been 10 hours. I think we would have just been like, fuck it, give it to us.
Yeah, exactly. I finally, when I got my screener for it, it was like just after midnight when I started. It's like I don't care if it's like it's gonna put me finishing up sometimes at 4 o'clock in the morning. It's not like I'm not all night anyway. So, and yeah, I think that does, especially on like a first viewing, that definitely
This my first viewing was on the 18th, right at 12 o'clock. After a few crashes, we got it going. And it was funny because all the people that had fought, a lot of them had fought this Marvel versus DC war and all the dumb shit. A lot of them I made sure that they were there with me on that particular night, because just to show you that their evolution, when people say, well, BBS at a 71%, get the fuck out of here with that. Nobody liked Man of Steel. Listen, and you crawled around on all fours wearing diapers when you were little until you grew up. And a lot of people grew up, be honest with you. They grew up. They got out of the pack mentality when it came to watching comic book movies. Streaming was more prominent then than it ever was then. So instead of going to the movies and going to these pack-like mentalities to go enjoy these things, you could sit down in front of your own computer or in front of your own TV by yourself and come up with your own opinion. And that's one of the biggest. Somebody asked in the chat, what are some of the biggest things that have changed? And not just since it's been released, but since 2013, is that people are better at thinking for themselves. We're not all the way there yet. Covered that shit last night. People are better, though. And some of the same people are better at thinking and coming up with their own determinations of quality than they were in 2013 to 2017. And I think that's one thing that we can probably be happy about.
Yeah. But going back to kind of the pacing of the flow of all three movies, like BVS, it's especially again once the titular battle between Batman and Superman starts, the movie's it's nonstop action, but it's much more, it takes its time more. It's much more contemplatively paced, and it doesn't go. And it's not like I'm not saying it's like it has pacing issues. I'm just saying it doesn't go like 500 miles an hour like Man of Steel does. It's and I think a lot of that's because it's dealing with the aftermath of the the Zod battle and the implications, the world dealing with of a Superman revealing himself. So then the movie's intentionally taking its time a lot more in BVS. And then I always felt like Zack Snyder's Justice League, even though it's the longest of the three, it kind of, as far as like the pace and the flow and then the just narrative structure, it's kind of like, I think, kind of represents sort of the middle ground between those two approaches, where it's got a lot of spectacle, a lot of action, a lot of a lot of the superhero goodness we all love about it, but also it's also a character study on all of the entire ensemble. And of course the big one is the one who got screwed over the most by the initial theatrical version, which is of course Cyborg, who is it still amazes me just how yin and yang his portrayal in the two versions are, where I basically kind of joke, he's like the Justice League's IT guy. Yeah, booyah. That too. He's like the Justice League's IT guy in the theatrical cut. I mean, in the Snyder cut, he's the main character. As Zack
that's one of the things I could not believe how. And that's the part that really became indefensible with them. And I don't like pulling out the race card, to be honest with you, because I don't think it always applies. I think you have to be very careful. I don't know whether it was a coincidence or not, who all was removed from that movie and how you justified removing him when it was clear that he was an integral part. The movie sort of revolves around him for at least 30% of the movie, the entire 4 hours of the movie. Once again, he's like Rocky and Hail Mary. You can't tell the original story that was meant to be told without Cyborg. How they justified. That's where they really lost a lot of credibility. I mean, they had already done plenty to fuck up their carpet of credibility, but that's when you see
they killed it dead.
Yeah, when you see this movie and you see how much of it threads through him, you're like, what were you thinking?
I mean, he's
That's where
literally,
if I had those people in front of me out of death, I don't think they would have been able to give me a good answer.
yeah. I mean, literally when they go into the final battle with Steppenwolf and the Parademons, like the whole bit, and
The
so
unity alone. How are you doing that without him?
exactly, he's the only one who can, he's like, I'm going to interface with it, and the brilliant like alternative in the theatrical is like, well, just like Superman and Cyborg, they'll just pull it apart by brute force. It's so much. There's so much more teamwork in the
and in the visions.
Yeah.
That when he's talking to those demonics in his brain about I'm broken, I mean, that was a big part. Okay, he's not. I don't think Ryan Gosling was up there near my top 10. I think that he's up there at the top with this performance. I have to think about it. I need a couple more days, but his performance in this is all encompassing. And there's not a lot of people in this movie, like in the core of the movie. There are a lot of people throughout the story and the flashbacks, but as far as the two tethers that the movie hangs on, it's those two. It's Rocky and it's him. That's what I loved about Gravity. It's pretty much Sandra Bullock for like most of the movie, unless she's dealing with George Clooney's hallucinations. Oops, sorry, I spoiled that.
That's no. Well, I mean, I guess I got to see. Another reason I got to see it, I guess as soon as I can this weekend, is every time you say Rocky, I'm just thinking
that plays a part in the movie.
It does, okay.
That plays a part in the movie. Not only because of obviously you look at him, but there are references to Rocky, and they do it the way they visualize things. When he has this hologram, little theater thing where he can show him what he's talking about. So there's a lot of stuff in that movie. And it's not overladen with like futuristic tech. It's a modern day type of movie for the most part. It's It takes place in a contemporary world.
So it takes place like now.
Yeah, it takes place now. Yeah, it takes place now as far as I know.
Okay.
Hello, Duckman.
Actually, by the way,
there are ways he can what?
I think he's talking about Gosling and potentially.
Because I know. Listen. I'm telling you what I believe should happen. Now we're talking about the fucking Oscars, who lately, with the exception of this year, have found new ways to fuck this up. Jim Carrey should have been nominated for Eternal Sunshine. There's no fucking excuse for that. If you've ever seen that movie and you realize you think to yourself he had to have been nominated. No, he's never been nominated for Academy Award. And there's at least 3 or 4 times that he should have been. Man in the Moon, Eternal Sunshine for the Spotless Mind, the Truman Award, and what's there's one more that we were talking about the other night that I'm going to forget. That a lot of no, none of his buffoonery shit, which have cost him credibility in that respect.
What else he did? There was like a number 23.
I don't think it was. Maybe it's just 3, but definitely for those 3. Definitely for Eternal Sunshine. So the Academy can fail me when it comes to Academy, when it comes to nominations. So that's not, I'm saying he should be. Ryan Gosling should be. He gives a full range. He's funny in this. The comedy, that's another thing. Is how many people try hard. The best people have tried to put some comedy in their movies, and it doesn't always stick. The comedy here sticks. It's relevant and it sticks. So maybe it's because these particular guys, I know they did some other movies that weren't, but I think Lord and Miller were the ones who wrote this or wrote the screenplay for it. They got to be nominated for the screenplay.
Also, I mean, it's like funny you mentioned that because of course this is the Sony movie with all that. It is Sony, right? Because
Sony makes good movies.
Well, because also Amy Pascal that puts her on it, and she's a little bit.
I don't think she's on this.
No, she is. The Wikipedia has her. I look at the Wikipedia. Yeah, she's a producer on it.
On this, they let her back in the room because I know she doesn't work for Sony proper anymore.
Yeah, she has Pascal Pictures, and that's like a co-producer on this. Yeah, she's a little bit of a fruitcake.
Psycho.
So I call it
psycho. But yeah, I really
we kid because we love.
Yeah, Sony makes really good movies. The majority, Sony's one of the most profitable studios out there. So, and then this is going to be why. I don't know if this movie is going to make a lot of money. I really didn't like the promo for it, to be honest with you. And we were part of the promo. And by the way, I got buttons and shit too. I got to be handed out to people. Um, I personally, until I saw the trailer on Super Bowl Sunday, it was like you. It was in the periphery for me. It was something I heard about, something that sounded, yeah, that sounds cool. When I saw that trailer had me hooked. And and from that point on, I wanted to see it, and I'm glad I saw it. I'm glad that's the perfect thing when a trailer does what I think number 23 is good, but I don't think it's in the category of Truman or Man in the Moon or
Well, it's a psychological thriller, so it's a little bit different.
It's a different dimension of him. I want to get. Hey, if he had done more horror or more things like that, I would have been hey, you know.
By the way, that was also Joel Schumacher who directed. So
who's hit or miss, and when he misses, boy.
That tone, it's that tone in number 23 that does show like people obviously write him off so much for like Batman and Robin, which is
a fucking shame because just 2 years before, the same guy.
Well, I mean, but
Batman Forever, which is one of the better Batman movies.
We all know what happened. There. Warner Brothers, like, I mean, it's like with DC, they notoriously, the pendulum just swings back and forth. We got to go either super dark or super light. I think that this exact people started to say that shit, but I think Joel Schumacher I think he went places. I think he did what Todd Phillips did. I think he chose to go in a different direction that was not consistent with what made Batman Forever good. But Batman and Robin was horrible, and they gave Joel Schumacher the keys to that one. Yeah, but number 23 though, it's like that tone. That always is. I've always seen that as like, yeah, if he wanted to like do like a, because he had talked about like wanting to do like what was it, like Batman Year One, I think was kind of like his sort of pet project that he always wanted to do as far as like a Batman movie. So he could have, if he wanted to like go like really dark with Batman. He's like he definitely had the capability to.
I think the one time that they did that, it really turned off a lot of fans. I don't think the 90s was the time to go that direction, and I think they made the decisions that they didn't make because after Batman Returns, a lot of people got turned off on the franchise. That's why you got Batman Forever. That's why you got the type of
when they got turned back on the franchise, and they really got turned off the franchise. And then,
well, because they instead of making another movie and using the same things that made Batman Forever work, they let him. I think they gave him too much freedom.
He's talking about like they were really like they were really pushing like we got to like find a way to like get as much like enemy gadgets in here that we could turn into toys. So he was getting mandates for the stuff.
He was getting mandated, but some of the stuff that I've read about and I've about what they took out had no fucking business in there. It's almost like he forgot what he did with Batman Forever. So most of the stuff that I hear that got taken out, and knowing that they ended up letting him do with Batman because of the success of Batman Forever with Batman and Robin. He had free reign on Batman and Robin. The Batman Forever we got, I don't need the Schumacher cut. Joel Schumacher, rest in peace, was an employee of a production company of a studio that made all the right decisions.
Well, Aaron wants it.
No, I don't need it. You can't hold on. Bring that down again. You can't deny the success and the decision-making process that turned out Batman Forever. Joel Schumacher was a part of that process, but he's a part of the process that needed oversight. And seeing what got taken out of Batman Forever, I have no problem with the Batman Forever I got. I don't need the Schumacher cut. I don't need it. We've gone, 31 years without it, and the world still spins.
Well, going to Donda's comment here. From Burton to Schumacher to Nolan to Snyder.
I think that's Dan. I don't think it's Don. I think it's Dan.
Okay.
Dan the man.
Okay. Gotcha.
Let me know if I'm not correct, Dan.
From Burton to Schumacher to Nolan to Snyder, their second Batman movie is always more what their stuff. Well, that's also because like when you have like your first movie is a big hit, then like William says, then you've got more free reign, and I think that's definitely evident.
I don't like putting Snyder into those first two categories, though. I don't know if I think Snyder's a better director, and I think he pulled off his second movies didn't suck.
Well, yeah, but I think it's like, what he's getting at is like, and I would agree. It's like especially because Nolan was after Man of Steel, he was far more tangentially involved. And pretty much just kind of like in name only in a lot of ways. But BBS, it's like that. That's I feel like that's where you really see. That's where Zack that's Zack at his most Zack in BBS.
I slightly I gotta wholeheartedly disagree. There is hold on, we got a donation. There is nothing in Man of Steel that I don't think is not a natural progression to BBS.
I'm not saying he's restrained in Man of Steel at all, or in
no. I get what you're saying, but I think Man of Steel, both of those movies show me the true scope of Zack Snyder to me. That's how I feel. But
So who did you get the donation from?
Hold on.
Looks like probably another $10 or $20. Yeah, his name is Dan DeMann. that sounds like
no. Here we go. A proud donator to Brad's scary movie watch along. $100 3 months ago. Wonder who that could be. Thank you. We are now at 17,651. That right there makes tonight a success already.
Yeah. So who?
That makes this a nice success already.
So let me guess. Was it Clint again?
Either Clint or Larry. It's most likely Clint.
His name is Dan. It sounds like it sounds like to me. That sounds like You've been calling him Don. I'm like, what? Wait a minute. And I had to look the other day when he came up and you weren't here, and I'm like, that's an A. What the fuck is Brad doing? Well, you can pronounce it Don. It's like that name all sounds like a name of character in like Do the Right Thing or like a Spike Lee movie, like Dan DeMann. That name's like you hear like that probably there.
I'm not a conspiracy guy, Dan. He was depressed. He was depressed. I mean, I don't think anybody, unless it's Jeffrey Epstein, I don't think anybody that is taking her alive. I think these guys are legitimate. It's Kurt Cobain, all of them. I don't think there's any conspiracy. Yeah, that's just how I feel. And then no, if I see some evidence or something, yeah, but there's been no evidence there. I need you to stop bringing up these fucking movies on this stream, dude.
Oh, you mean the ones with like the logs falling off of the truck and the bridge collapse?
With people getting their hair caught and shit, logs splitting people in their car, roller coasters. And that last one, that last Final Destination movie, fuck that movie. The first 15 minutes of that movie are the most tore up 15 minutes. That is some wild shit. That is some wild shit. Why do you sick motherfuckers go to those movies and can walk around and not be doing this shit? Every time I watch those movies and I'm near something like those movies, I'm scared. Stop bringing. I'm going to ban you for it.
I'm definitely not going to go to one of those diners in Seattle now.
Oh, don't go to a race car event either. Don't go anywhere. That's the tagline. Don't go anywhere. Gotcha.
Lock yourself up and you
still die.
Well, and that's kind of what happens in Bloodlines with one of the kids. He's like the one of the chicks who survives in like the opening vision of death. She kind of creates a fortress for herself that she's able to survive for like 20 years. She does not walk. The first time she comes out is like 20 years when one of the main characters comes to her place. So she literally death. It's not a matter she gets scared into it. She's like, she kind of gets wise to like how death works. So she builds this kind of bunker to survive in.
Yeah, which is it's batshit stupid. But watching that fucking movie, I'm in that bunker with her. Just doing part 3 is breaking new plots in movie universe. It's done a little bit. Boy, his kid. I was just seeing that trailer because we played that yesterday, and plus I got demonetized, of course. I'm being demonetized. You know what, Warner Brothers, when we promote the movie in the wintertime, I want my 14 cents back.
You see, the one that always still kind of just grates on me the most is when we were
the Netflix one,
a Rebel Moon promo.
That pissed me off, dude.
Middle of the show
pissed me off. I was so proud of that stream that I put it back up in 2 parts, and by the time I uploaded the second part, they got the email that they were supposed to get saying from Netflix, the one I got saying we want to make sure that you're and send. Oh, by the way, send us links to your show that you're promoting this on, and we'll send you swag. I got the swag, but fuck.
We got swag. We also got the date down.
That pissed me off, dude. They took us down for a good 3 or 4 days.
And we're like smack in the middle of the stream, like talking, and then just like it has like that freeze, and I'm looking at the screen like, what's like Williams, like, and then I realized like, oh shit, it stopped and we got pulled down midstream because
Clint, listen, I know you're just trolling me. I can't believe that you think this, but here you go. That's Devil Worship here at the center.
Actually, Aaron asked earlier in the chat, do they have fat burgers out in California?
Yeah.
Like is that a nationwide chain?
Yeah, because there's some in New York, according to Larry. There's some in New Jersey.
Okay, well that's good.
Jeez.
Sorry. By the way, also something else I bring it back to.
No, I just don't have 4 hours of my life right now to do that. So.
It's actually it's funny you should mention that, Fourth, because I've kind of adjusted my own sort of annual celebration of the Snyder because, and the big reason is because and I have no doubt, Zach's going to be posting about, and we're going to be talking about it because
you did bring it up yesterday. You brought up, and I said the same shit then. Stop bringing that crazy shit up in the chat.
We're going to get more of it, but
no.
Of course we got the 10-year birthday of BDS in a week, and of course fans going to be celebrating that. Zach's going to post about it, I'm sure, and just because they're so close together, and after BVS, of course, I mean, you immediately want to go right into Justice League, so it's like that'll be my new kind of annual way to commemorate them both. Is I'll just like have like a marathon of like Man of Steel, BVS, Wonder Woman, ZSJL, like between like the 24th through the the 27th or so. So that's kind of how I'm doing it now. But bring it back to something I posted earlier. I the first thing I did as far as the of course all the social media activities about it today was I took I know that during the Oscar fan vote that we the whole fandom is so proud of, that we got the Flash time travel scene that got the Oscar fan vote, and don't get me wrong, that's a I mean, cinematically, I don't think we've had a better Flash moment. But the seeing the movie for the first time, my favorite, and every time I put it on, it's like I just relive that. My favorite moment by far, you can say it in 2 words: not impressed. It's like that is like my jaw dropped the first time I saw, because even like in the seconds leading up to it, I was thinking, oh, I bet this is where he comes into the final battle with Steppenwolf, and it's just I love that, because it's just, first of all, that's just like the perfect. I have no doubt, if that had been the version we got in 2017, that the theater would have just exploded with cheering. But it's the thing I love about that. There's so much Superman in just that couple of seconds. Just, the invulnerability, the freeze breath, the confidence, the way the score just swells up in this very hopeful, heroic moment. He breaks out his heat vision, his strength, his speed. It's just, in the span of like 30 seconds, you get just so much, of the essence of Superman.
Except for the costume, it's the only thing I don't like about Zack Snyder.
Well, yeah, but it's the resurrection story.
I don't like the costume. I hated the costume in comic books. And whenever I see Superman on screen, personally, I want to see the colors. I'm in a different category because I fucking loathe the death of Superman and the reign of Superman joke that followed it, all that nonsense. But if you're going to give me Superman on the screen in all his glory, to me, all his glory means the red, the blue, and the yellow.
Well, I'm curious, what are your thoughts on it? Because, Zach has talked about like the use of the kind of the demarcation that the suit represents in like the 5-part story, where it's like he starts out with the classic suit, then then he dies, and then he's revived, and he wears the black suit, and that's meant to, the way he's explained it is like that's meant to, like, that's kind of his main suit as a member.
I understand why he did it. I just don't agree.
And then like
I understand why you did it. I just don't. I hate.
Well, and
this.
then he has like the classic suit during the nightmare when he's under the anti-life equation control, because the idea there is like it's dark side is like it's kind of a mockery. Dark side is like intentionally creating like this is like my.
I just think there are things you could do with the look of Superman, his face, his eye. There's things you can do to signify him falling to the anti-life equation that the suit did not need to signify. That's just me, though.
And see, the thing about it is too, because he's also talked about like in the finale, in the final battle with Darkseid and Apocalypse, then he returns to the classic red and blue. But I think that I could kind of see like him going like a step further. What I mean by that is like, yeah, he has the red and blue suit at that point, but also I could envision like he would kind of augment it with like some like that Kryptonian armor that Jor-El wears in the fight with Zod at the beginning of Man of Steel.
See, the moment he drops in on Alfred. He's like, I knew you would turn. I think he should have been wearing the red and the yellow and the blue. I thought he should have been Superman. He should have looked like the Superman. But this also ties back to that part of the story that I never agreed with in the first place, which was killing him in that manner to begin with. And as much as I love BVS, and it is on the Mount Rushmore of superhero movies for me, that is something I just never really agreed with. I thought there were ways to achieve the same thing that did not involve killing him. And I don't like, I'm just not a fan of anything that ever derived from that story. The only good, and I tell you, and I said this a few weeks ago when it came to Green Lanterns, the only good thing that came out of that storyline was Coast City getting wiped out in the Reign of Superman storyline. That's it, because that brought me Kyle Rayner, and that resurrected the Green Lantern book for me, soon to be canceled for a fourth time, into something that everybody started buying and really led to the renaissance of that character. That's the only thing that came out of the death of Superman. So there's nothing that came out of the death of Superman story that I just wouldn't throw away. And I got plenty of copies of it to throw away. So yeah, I wasn't a fan of the black costume. That moment was cool.
Let me ask you something kind of business related to that. Did in the now I don't. This probably wouldn't.
Remember, you were only 8 when this happened. I was running it.
This wouldn't have like kicked in until like maybe like a little bit after BVS came out, and now Justice League. This would tie in going into it, like both versions. Was there any attempt by the studio to kind of push like a reissue of Death of Superman, tying it out of those movies? And did you see any kind of like commensurate like uptick in those?
I didn't. I can only speak for me. Maybe somebody else got it up there. I did not. And plus, it's out in trade paperback a zillion times, and the actual issues are not circulating. Nobody's coming in saying, "Hey, can I have one?" You got Omnibus, you got the Death of Superman, you got the trade paperback. I got the trade paperback. And I wish somebody was buying Superman 75, but no, not at all. From your action, but that I'm not answering. I'm only answering it for me. I cannot answer it for anyone else, though.
Yeah, this is interesting. Like, would he have? Well, I mean, obviously in the movie he doesn't.
Oh my God! Stop it!
That's all the more reason to. That's all the more reason to restore the Snyderverse, get Henry Rock in that mullet and bring that beard.
It sucked in the comics. In the early 90s, where mullets were prevalent. I don't ever need to see that again.
Zach, if you're watching, when the glorious day finally comes, when we get to see your story concluded, tell Henry to grow his hair. He's gonna need to grow his hair.
Yeah, he's already got enough shit to deal with when it comes to the Snyderverse. You're gonna give him a mullet?
Damn right, I am.
Oh, that was one of the more ridiculous things about the return.
No, that was one of the more clever things, because then when he's
long hair. I will never be able to figure out who are you. Ooh, I think I remember you. It's just on the tip of my brain, but I can't quite nail it. You
underestimate how much a difference hair makes.
Out of here with that. Oh, whatever. All right, where are we at?
Well, we got Steel on Superman and Lois, so now it's out.
Yeah, one of the many mistakes they made with that show.
They made no mistakes with that show.
Yeah,
no, the only mistake they made was ending at 3.
You're stead. Okay.
They planned to do the only mistake.
The problem with the CW.
Seasons.
The problem with the CW is they spent so many years lowering the standards for IPs that you'll take anything. Anything's Academy Award winning.
Oh no, it's like I jumped ship on Legends of Tomorrow and Black Lightning of Batwoman like
You should have been driving. There should have been after Crisis. The ship should have dissolved in the water.
Well,
but
it did dissolve. I mean, that was like the de facto end of the Arrowverse anyway.
Oh my god, that was trash.
That show is phenomenal.
Okay, I don't listen. You, Aaron. Lately, you've been tap dancing on the ban list.
No, this is fourth.
No, this is no. She said it too. She said something about she put a throw up marker next to. I don't know what's wrong with Thousand Island on a hamburger. I need you guys to identify yourselves as people who don't like Thousand Island. I might have to get rid of
any Fat Burger and Savannah. They could collaborate with Savannah. But
what? No, because Brad's a lightweight. He ain't gonna be able to take that. Brad couldn't take a 2.2 pounds of happiness.
Well, no, see,
Brad would eat a Fat Burger and then he'd be off stream for the next 4 or 5 days.
Well, yeah, and I can eat a whole pizza, so it's like
that's not a Fat Burger. I'm telling you, dude. Eating a Fat Burger, it'd be like if you could eat a Frisbee as opposed to eating a bowling ball. They are not the same. Because I can do both. I can do both in an hour. Not healthy, but hey.
Maybe what were we on?
We mean like a Civiet? I got you there.
Oh no. So, well. Speaking of suits, though, it's like that's probably the best innovation of the suit that we've seen in a really long time. Is we're seeing an absolute DC with the with Soul with the AI suit. I mean, that's like, I mean, God, it's like I can't speak highly enough of absolute DC, but especially Absolute Superman. I mean, that is like that is. The idea of like giving Superman an Iron Man suit is like something that you would normally think is counterintuitive, and it's like, and it's just it's the best alternate Superman suit I think I've seen in my adult life.
You didn't knock this shit off. I didn't see that nasty walrus before. I was about to time out Aaron.
Oh no, you're not. Oh no.
Yeah, I know you're not your sister. Yes, I'm about to time out Fourth and Aaron because they're in here doing the sacrilege.
We're talking about like the whole like thing with mullets.
No,
I had a mullet until I got it trimmed about 2 weeks ago. It's gonna come back though, so I just
that's not the full on comic book mullet though. That shit was ugly. All right, well, has anybody got? What are we at on the donations?
Yeah, we just got another scary movie like. Brad Prod. I'm not watching Scary Movie 6, guys.
All right, so we're 2,400 away. We're less than 2,400. We're like 2,300 away.
No, well, that last one was a pretty big boost.
Yeah, so we've gotten $102 just for this campaign alone.
Well, do you want to go ahead and start break down the Spider-Man trailer?
I don't know if I couldn't really. Is there much to break down? Let's find it.
What do you want to play it? Because
hold on. I gotta.
Like it. That's like I'm liking what I'm seeing in this trailer.
There's one thing I don't like, and
I already know what it is.
What?
It's the Punisher, the portrayal of the Punisher.
No, that didn't even bother me at all because that's.
Oh, is it the
the premise? It has to do with some of the premise of it.
Is it the present? Oh wait. Oh, is it because? Oh, I think I know what it is because. Okay, so for those of you, there is reason to think, and a lot of people have already speculated from the trailer that this movie may be adapting a storyline from Spider-Man the animated series from the '90s, specifically his transformation into the Man Spider, which I have been waiting for decades to see because I thought that's what we were going to do with Spider-Man 2.
That's some stupid shit you do in a cartoon, or you do in a comic book. We only have so many of these movies. He's not going to be Spider-Man forever. And I've already spent the majority of Tom Holland's Spider-Man career on stupid Iron Man Jr. shit. Now you're going to turn him into a fucking spider? That's some episodic bullshit. That is some episodic bullshit you do. And when you got a half hour to blow, you're really going to do this over 2 hours?
And then the reason why the indicator is that his powers are going haywire, and that's like the first kind of like signal in the Man Spider arc that he.
And then you have now, I guess Bruce Banner back, and now he can turn back into the Hulk.
Well, it's. I mean, I'm not expecting that to be like. I don't think it's going to be the Hulk, and but last time he couldn't change back into Banner, could he? I don't know. I'm sure. Was She-Hulk? It's been so long with that show, I can't remember what happened.
No, he hasn't been able to turn back into a regular Banner since forever. Since like Endgame. But yeah, because he was in full blown Hulk on
Well, no,
her
in
show.
Shang-Chi, he was Banner. Like he was Banner in that, in the end credit scene. So they've kind of like left us in the dark. I'm like,
when did they? No, when? Okay, but when did they do it? Whatever, man. Who cares? I don't.
Okay, well here's the Spider-Man brand new day trailer. Even the suit, it's like we only got a little glimpse of that at the end. I can't believe our first hit was pretty awesome.
Well, hold on. Why is
like you're not the happiest you've ever been in your entire life?
Hold on, Sony. Why the fuck do you automatically do this? I don't want. This is Sony's trailer, but never mind. They have the little captions in there. We don't need that.
I can't.
I knew it.
More Iron Man stuff here. Look at this.
Oh, I love this part where they show his face inside the mask. We've never seen that in Spider-Man.
I don't need to.
Hi, my name is Peter Parker. You don't remember me, but we used to know each other. Something bad was going to happen, and the only way to stop it was to make everyone forget about me. Because I'm not just Peter Parker. I'm Spider-Man.
Frank, you just hit me with a van!
Quit your whimpering. Suit yourself. Mother.
Go home!
That's actually kind of fun.
And sometimes Spider-Man has to do the hard thing, even if it breaks Peter Parker's heart. What is happening to me?
Oh, God.
Excuse me, Dr. Banner. I need your help.
What did you say your name was? If DNA is mutating, it would be enormously dangerous.
Spiders have 3 life cycles. When between cycles, it can leave the spider vulnerable to threats.
We are faced with a danger that we can't control. One we can't even see. Stay out of my way.
I told you Scorpion was going to be in the movie.
Kid. And for those spiders who make it through, it amounts to a kind of
hand.
Rebirth.
Crouching tiger, hidden dragon.
Nice flowers.
Oh, they're a housewarming gift.
I'm MJ,
I'm just a neighbor from across the hall.
friendly neighbor.
Well, fuck.
This looks good to me. I'm ready.
Listen, guys. Why I don't know. I'm gonna go see it, but what the fuck is the fixation on these fucking cartoons when it comes to making motion pictures?
Because the cartoon is rad. That's the fixation.
It's not a fucking movie. I'm happy for you. I am absolutely fucking thrilled that you had a great time with your cartoon. I'm happy for you. I'm thrilled. I'm excited for you back in the early 2000s or the 90s or whenever. That is not the trajectory that we should be going with this.
We should absolutely go in the trajectory of the main spider. We should 100% be doing that. We have never done it before. The time has come.
Why?
Because it's never been done before.
We didn't adapt any of the other shit that Spider-Man could have been doing. We didn't follow the grain when we did Mr. Stark, when Spider-Man never needed Tony Stark for jack shit. We didn't follow the grain then. So why are we following any of this other shit now? And why is everybody determined that that's a dream? I keep watching the trailer and they say Sadie Sink is Jean Grey. Has that been announced anywhere official by anybody real? And I'm not saying it's not true, but why? I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
It says it is
speculation. Yeah, it's
oh
now the
man,
other thing
spider.
about this,
Like, what the fuck? There's ninjas at least. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, which means the Daredevil's probably going to be in it.
No, he's gonna be. Yeah,
that's interesting too with Born Again, like the second season coming up, because that's I saw actually a couple of people speculating today that because he's wearing like the Shadowland suit in season 2, that this might feed into that, where it's like that might be an adaptation of sorts of Shadowland, and this might
I hope not.
connect with that. No, I love Shadowland. That's one of my favorite Daredevil stories. Like,
I don't think that story. Well, I don't think it's that good. Two, I don't think it is translatable in entirety. They're going to have to tweak the shit out of that story to make it relatable on screen. I don't know if you can do that with that story.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's because if he didn't like
because even Frank Miller, even the best Frank Miller stuff has not been translated completely one for one over here.
Well, but Aaron, to answer your point, it's like, who webbed Tom up? It's like because he doesn't have his web shooters on, so it's like, how did
William? Didn't you like the Spider-Man? No, I didn't have a problem with. I thought it was quite good. But what you guys got to understand is just because you like something over here doesn't mean it needs to be smeared over here. Everything has an appropriate format to where these stories work. And in a cinematic long form, it's different than what you can do in an episodic cartoon or a miniseries or something that's on a different platform aimed towards a different demo at any given time. I had no problem with the Spider-Man 90s. I actually think it was quite good. But just because I like something then and there and out as it's presented there doesn't mean I think that automatically means it needs to be adapted here. And I think that's a big problem with movies in general. I'm not saying that Spider-Man is good, because for all we know, that could be a very insignificant part because there's ninjas involved. So there we go. Yeah. But I think the problem with movie making these days that turns me off, at least, is the fact that we think that because something was successful at this format, that automatically means the dynamic is going to work on another format. And most of the time, that's not true. That's not true. And they're not really creative with it sometimes. Some of these inspirations need to fucking stay where they originated. You can adapt an IP in the spirit of the IP without adapting. Oh, this story, I love the storyline when I was a kid. No, fucking grow up and write an adult story. That doesn't mean everything that would inspire you was bad, but this is something different. It's like the Lanterns thing. What people are losing their mind. I guess fans like us know better than an Emmy Award winner how to tell a superhero story. And I love you, Grant Morrison. I really do. Words can't describe what you've met for comics, not just recently, in general. I think you're one of the GOATs. But I can't come with you on that nonsense that you said the other day. I can't. I think that was insulting. And I can agree that you are one of the greatest storytellers of all time. And one thing can be true, but I think that is outright disrespectful what he said in regards to Green Lantern and Damon Lindelof. And I said as much yesterday. I won't spend too much time on it. Watch yesterday's show. And I said, and the fact that Damon Lindelof thought he needed that's a indictment on fans. The fact that Damon Lindelof thought he needed to apologize in the manner he did, that's an indictment. That made us look fucking stupid. But yeah, not every format blends to the other format. And if you're going to do it, you got to do it with the primary format that you're doing in mind. So what? Something happened on a cartoon 30 years ago. The fuck does that have to do with the movie you're making in 2026? Is that I need a better reason than that. Please. I would rather you come up with new shit with that IP and take the risk than shit. I already read that shit. I read that shit where it was supposed to be. I watched that shit where it was supposed to be. You're bringing me something in 2026. Give me what you got here and now. That's all I'm asking. But I think that's a problem, not just in superhero movies. I think that's a problem in general. It's just nobody's original anymore. That worked somewhere else, so I got to do it then. I got to reboot. I got to relaunch because I can't. My brain cells can no longer generate anything new. I'm asking if you're going to charge these money, these ticket prices, you need to earn your fucking keep. Let's see. I don't think Madam Web is going to be in any movies anytime soon.
She's not going to be in that Madam Web sure as hell isn't.
No, because the Spider-Man cartoon and the Superman cartoon that came out during that era was consistent with the character that was being presented. Nobody tried to distort future versions of Spider-Man or Superman because of a cartoon. They tried to distort future versions and make a case for a certain type of Batman based on the animated series. Whereas Superman was consistent with what was going on historically throughout Superman, and so was Spider-Man. So I had no problem It's the main problem. And X-Men I have the same problem with. I am of the philosophy, and I don't care if I'm the only person in the universe who believes this. If you have to distort and transform something into something else for another audience, then you may as well make that something else for that other audience. At some point, you are no longer representing what you set out to represent. And I have my major examples are X-Men and Batman the Animated Series. Superman, there was no issue there. Spider-Man, there was no issue there. So, yeah. Let's see.
The other thing about the trailer, too, is that kind of... Because, of course, he's in a situation... Or
that's true, but this was a full-on... Was this a teaser or was this a trailer?
No, this is a trailer. This is... Come on. This is... Well, how long was
Actually, technically, I don't have the... Well, yeah, I do have a premise. It's a premise that kind of makes me kind of nauseous. But, yeah, you are right. Listen, this is all subjective. I could see this movie and love it, by the way. So, Dan.
And that's what we're doing right now is GRE discussion. So,
yeah. By the way, I'm not the Spider Man, the man Spider thing. I think is stupid. That's not going to stop me from seeing Spider-Man. Don't get me wrong. I think the Spider-Man thing, the Spider-Man, the man Spider, him transforming into the Spider, is stupid.
And by the way, that's
that
sequence of that story on the show did involve the Punisher too. So. I don't take that for what you will, as far as like if that's the indicator, that's where we're going.
I just wish people need to understand when you're making a motion picture, you are not writing a cartoon. When you are writing a cartoon, you're not writing a motion picture.
You know who else was in that? It was like a 2-part episode, I think. Was Morbius. That's when they introduced Morbius on the show, and like we were definitely not seeing more of that Morbius.
This is something that does worry me. I'm hoping that it thins out as we watch the movie, and that my worries are a little bit, because I'm hoping that this movie flows in a way that these people that are in it just enough to move the movie along, and they're not taking too much part of it. So I'm hoping it'll work as well. So
the big question is like, because last we saw Peter, of course, the Doctor Strange had to cast the amnesia spell, so that's where the whole interaction with MJ and Ned kind of plays in. It's like he's like kind of tiptoeing up towards is that you think Tombstone, because he's not officially listening.
No. Yeah, but I think that's his voice. And I know who Sadie Sink is playing. Damn it! How did this come to me before? She's playing Madam Web. No, I'm just kidding. I believe Tombstone was working with Sadie Sink's Gene. I just haven't seen anywhere official where I don't know where that came from, but I don't think
the next time we're gonna see X-Men character, I think it's gonna be in Avengers Doomsday. That would be interesting. She's playing Firestar.
That would be absolutely hilarious. And then bring an Iceman. Because by the way, guys, you don't know, Firestar was a character that they had to create because for a Saturday morning's kids cartoon in the early 80s, they did not want to use the Human Torch because they were afraid us kids would set each other on fire trying to emulate him. And I can tell you from someone from that generation, we would have done it. Their concerns were fucking valid. The same people in the previous generations, when we had Herbie, because they didn't want to have Human Torch on that cartoon because they were afraid of the same damn thing, I can tell you from the previous generation, knowing those fools, they would have done it. So they were right.
So the alternative was like to create a character who's with fire in her name, literally.
Yeah, but when you look at the Human Torch, he's literally a human being on fire. At 5-year-old me, 6-year-old me would have been like, hey, Johnny Storm survived, so can you. Come here. Then we would have had those Smokey the Bear. Only you can stop your friends from setting your other kids on fire. Like,
but anyway, so the that's did a pretty good job. Like other than like him kind of like tiptoeing closer to reintroducing himself to MJ and Ned. It's like it's still. I mean, and as Spider-Man, he's still kind of thriving. He gets the key to the city from the mayor, but we don't really like kind of see like what he's done like in his last we saw he was getting this crummy apartment, he's getting his GED, and
he got a kick-ass costume that I love that costume.
That suit is free. Especially
why is he fighting ninjas though?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's fought the Hand in the comics before.
Not really. I mean, yeah, but the hand.
And
the hand should be. Let's Frank Miller's end of the pen. I don't want to see that.
And back in like the '70s Spider-Man, that's all they could afford to have him on the show anyway.
Yeah, but that's different though. Them lame ass. Those are like the Popoid things from Power Rangers. Those are what those guys reminded me of.
Yeah,
I remember that shit.
Patrol.
Dude, Nicholas Hammond. I love you, man. Now listen, guy. I know that time has not treated your Spider-Man well. You and the Electric Company Spider-Man have not been treated well because of all the advancements. But guess what? Back then, when I was a kid, watching your show with that Spider-Man doll, with all that big metal buckles and the big metal things on his wrist and the little string he came with to hang him from the ceiling that I used to hang on the fan, that's all I had. You weren't even touching the wall, dude. You weren't sticking to the wall, and I could clearly see the cables. But I was thrilled to see you, just like that Shazam show back in Saturday morning. Laugh now. We didn't have shit. Fuck you, kids. We didn't have shit.
But I mean, they're as far as like Marvel, like live action Marvel back in the '70s. It was
that and that awful Captain America. By the way, we got demonetized for that awful Captain America thing.
Evil Captain America
with the clear shields and the helmet with the ugly wings on it. Oh, it was awful. And the Doctor Strange, don't even get me started on that. Abysmal. Do you guys think adapting animated interpretations are the next logical progression of these CBMs? No. Remember, there was a time when Batman wore black rubber outfits. We only got a proper costume in 2016. No, I don't even think, to be honest with you. Listen, I don't even need you to adapt stories from the comic books. If it doesn't fit, if you're a storyteller, you study up the character if you don't already know them. And you create your story, and then you apply your superhero to it. I'm okay with you doing something I've never seen before. Not every comic book movie needs to be an adaptation. And the problem I have with adapting things from cartoons is because the cartoons, literally by design, were aimed towards a different demographic than your movie going. So it doesn't work all the time. It doesn't work most of the time.
I mean, obviously, from the title, we can infer that this is somewhat of an adaptation of Brand New Day, which is post One More Day, and which
not really because Civil War itself, was it?
That itself was like partly the basis for No Way Home, which I'm still amazed to this day. It's like I can remember.
I got to disagree there. I can
remember the backlash. I mean, One More Day, one of the most, if not the most universally hated Spider-Man story, and they chose that as their baseline for No Way Home, and they made the biggest Spider-Man movie ever out of that. I mean, hats off.
Not really, though. If you read that story, it's a loosely based premise, but how that comes about and why that comes about is completely different. Because why it comes about in the movie is completely the heart of the movie. Why it comes about in the comic books is kind of fucking lame, actually. That's the way, it's, I don't know. I can maybe I need to read it. Smokey the Bear is basically it's a giant anamorphic bear who pretty much told you not to
prevent forest fires.
Basically told you not to burn down the forest. And he would come up and, he's like, Woodsy the Owl. He was all these little public service announcements. And of course, as kids, we weren't going to listen to shit unless it came from a talking animal. Woodsy the Owl, give a hoot. Don't pollute. Please keep America looking good. Why the fuck do we don't listen to adults when they tell us to do shit? We don't listen to adults when they tell us to pick up trash off the ground. But we'll listen to the fucking owl because he's a talking animal. All right. We would set houses on fires as kids. Smokey told us talking animal. No, we didn't do it. So what Smokey was, especially in California, in Southern California, we damn sure didn't want you setting fires. And put the water over your fire. Don't play with matches. Only you can prevent. And we were like, so. That's what I mean is in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, adults, rightfully so, were deathly afraid of us setting things on fire, including our siblings and our schoolmates. And they were right.
Well, you know what else? My generation, where you had like the pyrotechnical fears, where that came from was Beavis and Butthead.
No, we were already lost to civilization before they came along. William, did you see Ned's actor trim down? Do you think they're setting him up?
He did drop a lot of weight. He dropped a lot of weight.
I can't see it now. But here's the thing, though. I think if they do Hobgoblin, you don't have to do Ned Leeds. It's just like
I think probably the most likely is that he just was. That's just more like a personal thing. He just said he just lost weight. I mean,
that I see him as they developed him more as somebody you would see in a Shang-Chi or a Doctor Strange movie. To be honest with you, because of what he was doing.
Because remember, like Ned Leeds, he's like what's the as the Hobgoblin? He's kind of like the involuntary Hobgoblin.
It's a joke, by the way.
Yeah.
Roger Stern, I think it was Roger Stern, who created the Hobgoblin, hated that. That was not supposed to happen. Ned Leeds was never supposed to be the Hobgoblin. The person who created the Hobgoblin had the person who he was going to be. I think it was Roderick Sterling or something like that. He had the person from the day he created the Hobgoblin. He knew who the Hobgoblin was going to be. He left Marvel before the end of the storyline in the late 80s, and the people who took over made that whole Ned Leeds bullshit, and it pissed him off. When that person, they look up a storyline, The Return of the Hobgoblin, it's the actual Hobgoblin, because what ends up happening is before that, if you ever heard of a character called the Jack-o'-lantern, Jack-o'-lantern found out, that the Hobgoblin was Ned Leeds, and then Spider-Man versus Wolverine is where he has the Foreigner kill Ned Leeds. Ned Leeds, according to the storyline, had been hypnotized by the true Hobgoblin as a decoy, like he did with Flash.
As I said,
Flash
the involuntary Hobgoblin,
which was just bad writing. And so when I forgot who the creator was, I had to look him up. He came back to Marvel. The first thing he did.
Ned Leeds, he was created by Stan Lee, Steve Ditko.
No. The Hobgoblin. Hobgoblin was created by the person who had the
That was Roger Stern and John Romita Jr.
Okay. That was not who was supposed to be the Hobgoblin. The person who they revealed to be the Hobgoblin in the Return of the Hobgoblin, and the very first thing that he did is he came back and he had the original Hobgoblin kill Jack-o'-lantern, who had taken over the mantle of the Hobgoblin after he killed who he thought was the Hobgoblin. Roger Kingsley was always supposed to be the Hobgoblin. But because Stern left Marvel and never completed the storyline, so yeah. So I don't think if they ever brought the Hobgoblin in, that it necessarily needs to be Ned Leeds, where they've gone with MCU. So, and I know if they don't. All right, we're still at 17:651. We got about another 10 minutes before we wrap it up. We can talk more of Zack Snyder stuff, by the way. This is the time.
Yeah,
there's other comic book shit coming up.
Well, like Jason McAdale, he's kind of like there's multiple Hobgoblins, but he's kind of like the most.
He was a homicidal one. He was the one that was he killed a lot of people. He killed the original Hobgoblin killed out of intimidation and out of strategic. He would kill strategically. Jason McAdale would kill people just for the fun of it. He was talking to the Rose one time.
He's the Joker of the Hobgoblins.
Yeah, he entered. I remember one in Web of Spider-Man. I think it was 27 or 31. He comes to talk to the Rose. He meets the Rose at his office. He's already killed all the Rose's staff, which is Kingpin's son, Richard Fix, June. But he kills them by hanging them from the ceiling by their ties. And you see this in the comic book. He's scrolling through on his screen, and Rose is unfazed because he knows he's talking to a crazy person. But he also knows the Hobgoblin's not going to touch him because he knows who he is. But they're walking through his office, his rose garden, and all these people are hanging from the rafters, all of his employees. And he just killed them for no reason. And that's one of the things when the original Hobgoblin came back and fried his ass. He's like, you just kill. There's no art in it for you. You just kill to kill. This has nothing to do with it. And he electrocutes him. It's hilarious. But yeah. How did back on the major topic, how do you guys feel 5 years from now, or 5 years into the Snyder, not even into the Snyder movement, from the release of the Snyder Cut, because the Snyder Cut movement started.
I mean, we figured that shit out. So, yeah, I mean, it's so crazy to think about. Like, to look back on them, like not even that long ago, where every day we were hearing like this movie doesn't exist, and now it's like I can't even tell you how many times I've seen it. I've
been listening to Film Junkie, or associated with Film Junkie, for 8 years. That's how deep. That's how long this Odyssey was. I went from just being a listener to the show.
You hadn't started YouTube at that point, right?
Huh? No, I had started YouTubing.
I started listening to Film Junkie at the end of 2017. I didn't start streaming until 22.
Yeah, that was when I came across him and Chris Wong and the Squadcast guys, and a lot of that was born out of like, what the hell just happened when we saw.
Yeah, because you were searching for people to try to figure it out.
Yes.
And I thought I was crazy, and then I'm like, because the movie we promoted and the promo material, and I've shown you guys the promo materials we got for that movie at the last minute with no Superman on it and then all this other shit, and then the trailers that we were sent to promote the movies, the links disappeared and all that shit, and then because those trailers, if you look at the original trailers, if you paid attention to those trailers and you went and saw that movie, you knew something was up. You just didn't know how bad it was until you found other people.
Or like look back on like those the first two. There was like 4 trailers like leading into the 2017 release. So the first 2, there's a little bit of like the reshoot footage like interspersed in the second 2. But again, those first 4 trailers, I mean, it's fun to like look back and read those now and they realize that those are essentially our marketing the movie that we would get years later. Because again, there was
the demo goblin was Jason McNeil. That was the same guy.
So the it's so like, looking at like how much it's like changing my own life in the time. I mean, I wasn't let me read this. Have you guys heard anything about Zack Snyder being a possible?
I have not. Now, I thought that people were thinking that would have been announced today. I didn't have any high hopes that anything other than a celebration was happening today.
I mean,
I wish I could have been wrong.
I hope that's because I haven't seen that. I very much hope that's the case. Because I was like William, and you haven't seen it in the theater, have you? Yeah, it's like we know a lot of people who have, because there are probably fewer than 1,000 people in the entire world who have seen this movie theatrically. So I very much want that to be the case. And it's like, and that's, I mean, if you want more of this story, which we all are in agreement we do, I mean, that's definitely a platform to make that desire known in a very. It's a new vehicle to do that, and on top of that, seeing it in the theater, like haven't had the chance to.
I love it. I don't think it's happening, but I'd be fucking awesome if it did.
What was I saying a minute ago? Yeah. So how much it's changing my own life and the amount, from. Yeah. Oh, here's this is you're gonna love.
Oh, by the way, I know why he does this. I know why he goes errand for 1,000. You know why too, because you.
Yeah.
To trick you, because the only people you bring up.
Yeah. Well, anyway. We were talking about like the amount of time, because I was thinking about this not too long ago, and I wanted to bring this up on the show because like you guys, this is gonna blow all your minds. So the theatrical cut comes out in November 2017. We get the announcement of the Snyder cut in May of 2020, and then the movie finally comes out March 18th, 2021. Okay, so follow me on this, because that amount of time, the time frame from the theatrical release to the Snyder Cut's release, that basically if you were a kid during that time frame, and specifically if you were like a high school kid, that time frame you would have completed, that would have been enough for you like basically start and finish high school. So if you think about it, like 2017 freshman year, the bullshit theatrical version comes out, Snyder Cut campaign kicks off, it's like in full swing in 2018. You get to fall 2018 when Aquaman's on the way, and it's starting to pick up steam. You're going into sophomore year, and then we get into 2019 where it's like it really picks up steam. Zack's on camera saying, yes, this exists, you just got to convince Warner Brothers. And then we keep pushing, go into fall 2019. We have the big Twitter campaign that that pushed you over the edge, and that you're going into the junior year at that point. And then we get to the announcement right as the whole world's falling apart in May that it's coming. And then by that point you finish junior year, and then you go into, I mean, now this is like however they were like navigating high school during the pandemic, but you go into fall of 2020, you're going into senior year, and by the time the movie comes out in March of 2021, you are heading into the home stretch of senior year of high school. So that just kind of like, I was thinking about that recently. It's like, yeah, the time frame from the theatrical cuts release to the Snyder cuts release, it's basically encompasses what would be somebody's like entire journey if beginning to end of high school. And
Kind of sad.
Yeah.
I don't know, Dan. Man. I mean, if somebody does a Dark Knight adaptation, there would be no way around it. So that's the only way I see it. If somebody does,
I always kind of like saw this is it because Joe Manganiello mentioned like in the Batman, the Ben Affleck Batman's movie, that Batgirl was going to be lending him a hand against Deathstroke. I always kind of like in this universe, I kind of envisioned like he might have actually kind of done like kind of like a hybrid sort of like Carrie Kelly. Maybe she like was Robin at one point. Now she became Batgirl. So they might have done like a.
Yeah.
There's also
as she progresses, she turns into her own version of Catwoman in Dark Knight too.
And one, it's like there's been like in the Nightmare in BVS, there's speculation like one of the female soldiers on Batman's team that might be Carrie Kelly.
The one like again, that's a stretch. I see who they're talking about, but I think that's a stretch. And he's never actually named her as that, so I think that's a stretch. Because she wouldn't be in that situation. She wouldn't be in that situation. She wouldn't be,
I mean, I think if you're ever, Zack, like his Batman with Ben Affleck, that's that's predicated on Dark Knight Returns, and then he's also talked about wanting to do like a 1-to-1 adaptation of Dark Knight Returns. So I think if you're ever going,
that's where I think that you would see her as a proper Robin.
If you ever get if you ever do get a live action Carrie Kelly, Zack's probably going to be the guy to do it.
Yeah, and then I would hope he would get the age appropriate actors for it, because that one in the BBS, I don't think that was her, but I've heard a lot of speculation. Let's see.
Yeah, it blew my mind. Thinking that's something.
What blew your mind?
The whole high school analogy I made.
No.
Well,
for people of your generation, maybe I just think.
The reason why I mentioned that is because it's as you get older, certainly as when I got into my 30s, it's like I realized this. Time, you value your time. Far more so. Sometimes it feels like you just blink and then like another half decade's in your rear view, and it's so. It's so. Again, I look back on how much my life has changed in a myriad of ways. From like when the theatrical cut came out, when the Snyder cut came out, when in the years since the Snyder cuts came out, and it's like it humbles you to think about like how to like to watch your own life evolve and continue, and like I can demarcate, okay, like this development with this runs parallel to like this happened in my life, or I started this new. Like a lot of my what I do is, even though I was like doing a lot of writing before, like it was Screen Rant. Like that when I that's when I first kind of moved more into my freelance writing career outside of Comfort Kingdom. That was when it's like, okay, now I'm that was my next outlet after that. So that's when I really started my career in entertainment journalism, really started snowballing and getting to where now what I'm doing with the Action Desk and all this other stuff. And then I know all this is before like I start like at my new school where I start training in 3 different disciplines at once, and teaching, and to look back on like this journey and like how much has changed in my life and all our lives at the same time that we really did make history with this movie. This is something I'm going to pass. If I ever have kids, this is something I'm going to pass down to them.
And they're going to think you're weird. All right, I think that's there's other reasons to understand that you're weird. All right, so that's where we're going to wrap it up. We raised $102 tonight, which is not a small amount this late at night. For those of you who will be watching this at a decent hour, you can always go ahead and donate. The link will stay in the description, and it will stay pinned to the top of the chat until the only way that link won't be there is once we reach the 20,000 and we send that money to AFSP. Then there will be a new link, but it will be roughly the same. So we won't stop. There will just be benchmarks that we send it through. Don't know what my schedule is going to look like over the next couple of days. We are 85% done with this move. But the next 3 or 4 days are going to be kind of critical. Actually, the next 5 days before I head to WonderCon. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys saw my Did I tweet it? I don't know. I never remember if I tweeted it.
Real quick to interject, because I know you guys won't stop chomping at the bit for me. Okay. I will give you the one and only condition or circumstance under which I will go and see Scary Movie 5. You guys, everybody watching tonight in the chat, on social media, replaying this, you get us to our $20,000 goal by May 20th. By May 20th, I'll go do it, and I'll give you. I'll share my thoughts on here. You get us to that goal, no later than May 20th. I will do that. That is ironclad. I will, under no circumstances, see it otherwise.
All right. I'm going to make a graphic about that so that we can hold you to that. All right. So I picked up this today. And I kicked it up for a really good price. I mean, an astronomically good price. It was a steal. This is not for the store. This is for me. Next week, I'm going to WonderCon, and I am going to sit down with Scott Snyder, and he's going to sign this, and he's going to sign that. I got these for a phenomenal price. These will not be going to the Sci-Fi Center, but I got these. It's a phenomenal price. I'm so happy to get it. And then I'm going to get them framed. What else did I do? Let's see what I did with the store. Oh, yeah, this is a whole crap.
On off. Plenty of stuff happened after that. Come on. So Snyder changed my life. Okay. No,
almost forgot. What did you say? What?
He said the Snyder Cut changed my life. Nothing. I'm sure he's joking, but like nothing happened after that. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, we reached 200,000 views a few weeks ago. Actually, it says we're actually past that, so I don't know why it says the 15th.
And
all we're actually way past that.
Of them were because you guys were waiting for me to come on every night. So there you go.
Sure. I'm pretty sure like 50 or 60 of those came before I even knew who you were. So there you go. So congrats on that. What else happened here? Did I have any updates? I took some. I thought I took some more. Oh, that's Michael B. Jordan winning his Oscar.
And it seems you're going to be seeing Fourth at WonderCon too.
Yeah, he was telling me. I told him I have an extra press spot if you wanted to go, because my press part of it. All right, guys, that's where we're going to wrap it up tonight. Like, subscribe, donate if you can. I put my review for Project Hail Mary in the chat. Go see it though. I mean, I can't. I mean, my words won't do it justice.
We are about 2,300 away.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch this. He's going to put in all 2,300 tonight.
Who's he?
Clint.
Oh yeah. No, I don't think so. Larry,
yeah, guys. Yeah,
Larry might.
Yeah, because they all are so individualized, and they also it's like everything about them like stands out. It's all like special little comedy gem. It's like, no, I'm not keeping track of each one individually. It's like I know some horrible parody movie that with the title scary movie, the Wayans brothers are coming back. I know it's coming out in June. It doesn't mean it's going to be good. It's going to be terrible.
Under no circumstances would I be sharing a room with you. So all right, that's it, guys. I will talk to you later on. Like, subscribe, share, do all those things. And I will see you as soon as I can see you, but got some business to take care of.
Happy Snyder Cut Day, guys.
Yeah.